getting people in the little
Take
chat
one.
group here. Take one. Welcome back this week to another Real Talk with Kevin Brock at 7 o'clock. Uh, Kevin, we're poets and didn't even know it. Um, hey, I wanted to change things up this week. We've been doing a lot of filming, a lot of catching some big fish, a lot of podcasts. I think we're on week 5 if I'm counting correctly, but we've been doing this a minute, and everybody that watches and follows and comes along knows Kevin can catch fish, right? And but what I started to realize in our conversations, because you and I talk pretty much every day. I think I talk to you more than I talk to my wife sometimes. But that's okay because we've got some plans and what we're doing. But I thought I want to take a minute and change things up, and I want to talk about us, talk about you a little bit, talk about me, kind of how we got to where we are, right? I think there's a story in there somewhere, as I'm getting to know you, that and I'll just start there, right? Is how I met you, and how we kind of got on this roller coaster that we're on now, right? But yeah,
Well,
I
I'm
met.
gonna, I'm gonna when we
Go ahead.
get there, when we get there, how I met you. I'll throw in a few things too that I hadn't
Oh,
said before, but now I can
uh-oh.
say them.
Now you
No,
can
yeah,
say
yeah.
it.
So we got a fun. Yeah, yeah. We'll go over
All
there.
right.
Throw it a
So
little, throw it a little spice.
yeah, so a lot of you guys that know, Stony Stone and know the brand of Old Farts Fishing, we started fishing around COVID. I was producing comedy shows, doing, running a photography business, which I still run. Just, kind of just doing that whole thing, and COVID hit, and the comedy thing got shut down, and I went in my garage and saw this fishing pole that's been sitting there probably 10 years or so, and I said, hey, let me go get a fishing license and use this rod. And so I went to Ellis Lake and beat up Ellis Lake for a little bit and was catching some bass and some catfish and things like that, and would go to Johnson's Bait and Tackle. And I think it got to a point with Johnson's Bait and Tackle, they would see me coming, and they'd be like, "Hey, there's that Stony guy. Let's see what we can sell him today." Because I would get everything. I'd just go there, didn't know what I was doing, and say, "Hey, I'm trying to catch catfish. Oh, you need this rig, you need that rig," and I would just go in and buy. And over the years, it was like, "Hey, now I'm striper fishing. Oh, I'm doing this, and oh, look, try these Kevin Brock things." I'm like, "Who the hell is Kevin Brock? I don't know." So I'm just buying everything, and Johnson's is great little shop. But as I started
Yeah,
doing,
Johnson's is great. We love them.
yeah,
They're great
uh,
stuff.
yeah. So we started fishing, and because I'm a film guy and a photography guy, I'm like, hey, what if I start making videos? And so Old Farts Fishing was born, and we started doing a bunch of videos and just flooding the interweb with all kinds of different, fishing videos, from catfishing to sturgeon to what have you, and started meeting people along the way and building relationships, and trying to figure this thing out and keeping it real and honest. And, never once, as we said, we're the best out there. We're just like, hey, this is what we're doing. We're new at this. Let's go have fun and let's record it. And that's kind of where I'm at and what I'm doing, and which led me to meeting you at a Johnson's Bait and Tackle event. They did a Striper Fest, and we chatted. I believe it was last year when we met on an official
Two,
basis.
2 years ago.
Yeah, about 2 years.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we met. We talked about a few things. You knew a little bit about me and what you may have seen on the net. I knew a lot about what I thought was you, because everybody, oh yeah, Kevin Brock, and everybody has a reputation, and everybody, just where you are at that time. But yeah, Kevin, yeah, there was a mixed bag of, it's a great guy, he's not, whatever. But we'll get into that tonight to kind of just talk about some of these things, and we just hit it off. You had a plan, I had something I do with my videos, and we chatted, and long story short, here we are, right? We started working together, started making some videos and content, and now I feel like the sky's the limit. That aha moment that went, here it is. And that's why I wanted to have this call, this podcast, was that aha moment as we were meeting every week when we talked. There was a few things that you said that started me thinking, is like, you know what? Let's get to know Kevin, not the past Kevin, not the Kevin. I want to know. I want people to see what I see. I want them to experience the Kevin that I know. But you got to tell a little bit about your past and where you are to get to understand anybody of where they are today. And that's what I wanted to do with you. So you got a little taste of me, of how I started. Not very deep, not very meaningful, just how I got old farts fishing. But we'll get there. We'll get there. But Kevin, let's learn about you, buddy.
Well, it's always, it's
It's
easy
always
to
weird, huh?
it's always easy to talk about what you do, if it's because it's just like second nature. But you never want to talk about yourself,
I
because it
know.
always seems like, oh, it's selfish or whatever. So we'll just kind of play this by ear. But yeah, when we first met, at Johnson's, and they have a Striper Fest, and please support Johnson's when you're over there. They're awesome. I know Chuck, I know everybody, but you are emceeing for it, and one of Chuck's daughters was there, and all this stuff, and you kept making comment. You're emceeing it, and you were still in that I think I'm funny mode, and try to get people to laugh, and which was good, and you were not, but you're like, yeah, and we're gonna go and have some beers afterwards, and da da da, and I'm like, dude, what is this guy doing? Here's this old dude hitting on, the owner's daughter. I'm like, that's Christy, and
It's Christy.
and I'm like, what is up with this Stony guy? And I called you to myself, not to anybody else. I'm like, Stony full of baloney. Stony baloney. So I've never told you that. So that's the first one, right? I thought, I go, there's Stony baloney. So that was your nickname from me.
Oh my God.
And again, I did not know you, and I shouldn't
No.
judge anyway, but it was just like, because I'm like, obviously this guy can't fish because he don't know what he's talking about, right? I mean, it's just, you obviously just started and everything else. But, you know, that year we didn't like move forward.
Right.
And then like it was like the next year you were still around and I had seen some of the stuff. And I'm like, actually, this guy's kind of genuine. There's something about this guy. And you had given me a card from before, and I'm like, whatever, da, 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 and I was recovering and just trying to just get my life back together from what I'd gone through. And still just even able to walk, that was my concerns. And then we're at Striper Fest again, representing Johnson's, hanging out, doing seminars, just being nice to people, helping them out. And I saw a different side because I dug into it a little bit more. And I'm like, man, Stone is a really nice guy. And then who's this Anthony guy hanging out with him? I'm like, Anthony's he's just got nice guy written all over him. Hardworking, honest, nice guy. Boom. That's when you meet Anthony. That's who he is. And I'm like, okay, all right. Well, why is Anthony hanging out with Stoney? That's weird. Why is it, but it all comes together now where like Stoney's like a good dude, like a nice guy, like giving people good quality product, doing his business. He's not out to rip anybody off. He's like a hardworking, good guy who wants to catch fish. And then all of a sudden, because over the years I've had 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 or 8 different people say, yeah, I want to do photography with you. I want to shoot some video. This is awesome. I just want to go on a fishing trip. We can do this, right? And they all go and they're all gung ho at the beginning, but then they fade out because they realize how much work it is
Oh
and
yeah.
how much time it is. And you got to be there early in the morning, and I'm grinding and you're grinding. It's not just you watch the 10-minute video, and you see the highlights. That's all day. I mean, that's getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, fuel and gas and charging, tying leaders for me, you charging batteries, making sure the film, downloading, yada, 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 yada. We just keep going. So it's a lot of work, is what I'm saying.
Right. No,
Anyway,
it is a lot of
anyway,
work.
but it's like a labor of love. Unless you love it, you don't do it. Because every time we go into a new segment or a new something, or we got a big fish, or we had a double on, or now we're changing seasons, going somewhere else. Not yet, guys, but we'll be changing seasons soon. It's exciting. It gives you that next amp up. Hey, we're going, and we get to share this with other people. So, and I would keep saying, Stoney, do you really want to do this? And you're like, yeah, I give you my word. I give you my word. I'm gonna do this. I'm like, I ain't got no money. There ain't money for you involved with this thing. It says I'm not no cash cow. Because we used to be, cash bull, I should say. I'm a cash bull. cash cow,
Whatever the politically correct,
whatever,
non-denominational
big horn, yeah, yeah, sugar daddy,
sugar
yeah,
daddy. I have one
yeah,
of those. I have one of those. I have a.
go sugar daddy, yeah. But you know,
Uh,
and back when we had money and we were rocking it, and lots of guys, it was hard to what I call to tell the real from the fake
right.
because people just wanted to jump in and they wanted to vote and they wanted to be a guide and they wanted to be on the team, but they couldn't hang, they couldn't stick it out, and it was tough. Guiding's not easy. Anyway, so that's how we met, and And then it was kind of more of a spiritual thing. I went home and I prayed about it. I'm like, am I supposed to be connected with this guy? I mean, his name's Stoney, right? I mean, okay. I mean, I'm not a stoner and I'm not against anybody who is. Well, you can do whatever you want. I don't judge you. I love you, whatever. But Stoney connects to smoking weed and being stoned. That's what you think, right? Well, I'm
Well,
a stony stoner. Kind of.
kind of. No, and
Kind,
it's
kind of, but not really anymore. It could mean a lot of different things. But I'm just being real. You said
no.
let's be real, and
This is
that's
real.
that's what it is, right?
This is
So
real.
I'm like, do I want to be hanging out with a guy, and get, that's it's a stoner? Well, there is no stoners. There is no preppies. There is no hicks. It's just a bunch of people getting out there that want to just catch some fish and hang out
Sure.
and do good. There's a lot of good people. There's no group anymore. It's not the way it is. And social media and information and our iPhones have broadened people, and people accept people for who they are. I accept you for who you are. You do whatever you want to do. That's fine. Now, if you hurt people or you lie or cheat or something like that, I'm not going to judge you, but we're going to probably slowly go our own ways. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
probably not the right fit, but that's not who you are. That's not who you are inside. And so, you know, it's just been a really neat thing. You show up on time and you're ready to go fishing, and it's like you like fishing, you like helping other people. It's been a really neat thing, and we're getting a few people to like it and a few views. And
Yeah.
okay, I'm just rambling now.
No,
So help me
and
out.
this is
Help me out.
no, this is good because what makes this work, Kevin, is both of you and I are very passionate about what we do, and the thing with you is your passion has been fishing from a very young age. My passion changes every 5 years. It feels like I
Yeah,
kind of get into car racing, we got into barbecue competitions, we got into RVing and
yeah,
motorcycles, and I
yeah.
mean, I just find that passion, but the fishing is stuck, right? And I think the one reason why I think fishing is stuck for me is, it is on a spiritual level. Anthony and I go fishing on Sundays. A lot of people go to church on Sunday. Well, for me, going out on the river or the lake or where we are in that moment where we're sitting there and the sun's rising and, we're sitting there doing what we love to do, to me, that's more spiritual than anything out there. That's how I connect with
And
where I got to
and
be at.
that is an awesome thing. And again, no judgment from anybody. Everybody does it their own way. And that's between a spiritual thing between you and God or you and the universe or whatever you believe in. That's between you and them. I mean, but the fact that you're out there and you're appreciating the earth, the
Yeah.
whatever's been given to us for the day, the clean air, and you're out. And that's what makes fishing exciting, is because there's just all of that involved with it. You
Yeah, and
know,
then, and at some point we can have a whole podcast about the Anunnaki. So we'll talk about that later.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
Anthony's probably going. Anthony's shaking his head. No, don't go there.
No,
Don't
no
go there.
Anunnaki.
No Anunnaki. But you
Three
know,
finger eight. That's all I remember.
well, the funny thing is, we talk about my name being Stony, and that, and we are keeping it real. And yes, I do smoke a lot of weed. I do.
Yeah, yeah.
But I look at it this way for me personally. When I was a lot younger, I had abused my body in the sense of motorcycle riding, bicycle races, and stuff, and I had a few accidents and really screwed my back up. And at the time, the doctor had me on so many Vicodin. I was probably taking 10 Vicodin a day, sleeping pills, antidepressants, you name it. I was on it, type of thing. And one day I was just like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to live this life of being numb. I mean, you basically were numb.
Yeah.
And the doctor I
Oh,
had,
I know. I
oh,
know. Yeah.
the doctor
Yeah.
at the time was like, "Well, have you ever, heard of medical marijuana?" And I'm like, "My name is Stoney. Come on,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?" I go, "But I'm an adult now. I don't smoke weed. I go to work. I have a job. I don't smoke weed. And I hadn't smoked weed in years." And she says, "Well, let me educate you a little bit." And she goes down this road of how it's broken out into different compounds and this and this and this. And you had to have a medical card at the time. And so I got the medical card and ended up doing it for medical reasons, honestly, which I was not a believer before. I thought you got a hangnail, you got a medical card. But within about 2 or 3 months, I was no longer on any pain pills, no sleeping pills, no antidepressants, nothing. And all it was weed.
Yeah.
And so now for me, it is medicine.
Yeah.
Yes, I take it every day. Yes, I have been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I still have back issues. I have stuff, but every day, no joke, 420 just works. That's my time to disconnect. That's my time to unwind. That's my time to get creative, to work on videos, do whatever. And it takes me to a spot where I decompress, I relax, and everything is good, right? Now there are
Yeah.
side effects. You forget
Again,
stuff, you
no.
forget things.
No judgment, no
You
judgment
know,
on my end because there for times, and we might get into this more, and kind of my little bit of a journey, and it was neat because I got to tell, you call it a testimony or your
hmm
story, or everybody has a story, everyone has something happen to them, but I had the question on the boat the other morning from a client, and they had heard I'd been through some stuff, some medical stuff, and and I said, well, do you want the short part of it or you want the real story? They said, well, we want the real story. After telling them that and being open and being vulnerable and just telling them what happened, you know, they were able to be open. And it brought up, oh yeah, my dad had cancer. And oh, I lost my dad a month ago, or I did this. And it just people were just being able to be open why we were catching fish and being again out in that outdoor,
right.
you know, outdoor church, whatever you want to call it. But that's what the universe gives you back when you're vulnerable, when you're compassionate, when you're kind, when you're just open and you're like, dude, I mess up too, man. It's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. We're all here to try and we're all good people. But so they had me on so many drugs and handfuls of stuff. I mean,
So,
it
so
was
Kevin,
it was
let's
burning my insides out. I mean, and they talked about miracle marijuana to me, but because of my Coast Guard license, it's federal. I couldn't risk it. I couldn't take it and then operate a boat
right.
because it'd be in my system, because I've got a Coast Guard license, and so. But there's some new laws coming out that there might be a little dosage that might help with inflammation and soreness and all that, which I
So,
deal with.
so there's a lot of people. We actually have quite a few people that have called on that I can see, which is amazing. Thank you for your support. A little time for a commercial here, but I want to get into, we kind of jumped a big set here, a big segment as you jumped right into what happened with you. What happened with you? A lot of people don't know. A lot of people, they had this guy in the river that, had all these boats and was this huge guide and all these things and then disappeared.
Yeah, we were rocking it, so I'm 39 and I feel like I've got the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think I'm it. I'm the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, I was still nice, don't get me wrong, but there's that fine line between confidence and cockiness, and I
Yes.
was probably leaning on the cocky side. Okay. We had several boats, several guides working for us, secretaries. We were like, we got this. Tons of money's coming in. I never had money. I never grew up with money. Now we got, I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars is coming in, going out, and I got friends everywhere, and everybody wants to be a part of it and hang out and all this stuff. And we're running three, four, sometimes 10 boats a day, you know, and just craziness. And I'm headed up to the Smith River. It's about 2015, 16. And I remember my legs were, I was driving, my legs were real burning. And I'll get to the gist of it quick. Anyway, when I'm rowing, I lose like 90 pounds, right? I'm I'm 240, and all of a sudden I'm down to 150, and I don't, and it was all muscle. I didn't have no fat to lose, and now I can't even row. I can't even crank up the boat. I don't even know what's going. I can't even net fish. I don't know what's going on in my world. So we check out a few things, they do a few tests, and then the rheumatologist says, "Oh, you got to go to the gastroenterologist." The gastroenterologist says, "You got to go to the neurologist." Neurologist says, "You got to go here." And I'm bouncing all over the place on these specialists, and they're just giving me all kinds of pills. Anyway, I'm still going downhill. One day, I'm backing up the boat, and oh no, I'm pulling the boat out. I slip on the boat ramp. Boat's ramp slip. We were striper fishing. I fall. You ever see that the thing? I've fallen and I can't get up. What is that little button?
Yeah.
What is it?
Life alert.
The life alert. Yeah, whatever it is. I've fallen and I can't get up. That was the craziest dumb commercial. But anyway, it sold stuff. I fell and I couldn't get up. Literally, I was just not strong enough to pull myself out. I'm laying there. What do I do? So I ended up getting called. So people had come down and helped me out that saw me fall, and they take me to the emergency room. So I end up wheeling. They wheeled me in and got me in, and obviously I knew something was wrong once they found out that I wasn't I wasn't a prankster. I wasn't all
Yeah.
crank because my whole body was just sucked up, and that I wasn't trying to get drugs. All of a sudden they started wheeling me through the halls, man. I'm on this gurney and they're going, and I got people running all over the place and they're plugging things into me. Well, I get up in this room, and I'm in the upper section, and the doctors are all in, and they're going over everything. They're going over the tests, and the one doctor's there. And if you've ever been to, UC Davis or ICU or in the emergency care room there, when something's bad, they bring all the doctors in and all the students are out, and they're all just they're talking in foreign language. I don't know what they're talking about. They're looking around. I don't understand. They're saying all these, you know, all the doctor terms, and the guy's like, how are you still alive?
Oh no.
He's looking at me and he's like, everything on this chart, your livers are failing, everything that's going on, your heart's so weak it can barely pump. He said, everything that shows here says you're a dead man. These numbers are from a dead person. And they're like, how are you still alive? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. So they do the intervention, they do the whole thing, and they're like, they're trying to pump me through stuff and nothing's happening. And I got wires. It's all a blur. It was all going so fast. And I'm laying there and they're like, Mr. Brock, your time's up, man. This is it. I'm like, what? They're like, you ain't gonna make it through the night. Everything on paper, everything beeps, every monitor. They had the best doctors, every blood test, everything. They said your blood's so toxic, we can't give you. They're trying to give me blood infusions, and they're trying to, save me. And they're like, "Do you want to talk with a chaplain?" And then the one guy's like, make sure you got your living will in order. You got your thing. Have you thought about, a burial? Have you paid for that? So I'm buying I'm making sure I got my gravesite all taken care of. So this doesn't all and I'm going through all this stuff. So they're having me pick out a casket.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was like, what is happening in my world? And so I'm laying there and I'm like, I told doctors, I'm like, I just need a minute. I just need a minute. I just gotta grasp this in. And I've always believed in God, but it was on my terms. When I needed something, when I wanted the 49ers to win, I'd pray for them. Obviously, God didn't hear me because you know what the 49ers have done lately. But no, anyway, but you know what I mean. When I needed something, that's when I'd be like, oh yeah, hey Lord, help me out. You know, but I believed in God, but I never had a personal relationship with God. So anyway, I'm laying there. I asked everybody to leave the room, and I I don't know if it was on a loudspeaker or, but I heard a voice, And again, it was all a blur. I mean, you can imagine what's going on at this point in time. And I'm laying there, and I got my phone, and I got Spotify, and this song "It Is Well," and I don't know if you know it. It's a song written by a guy that lost his family, that was going through the story is, and it was back and way back, and he said, no matter what, it is well with my soul. I still am going to be a good person. I'm not going to hate. And he lost his whole family. They'll die. It's all kids. Bad deal. And the song's going on, and over the years, I think I'd numbed myself to people and to feelings, and I couldn't cry, if that makes sense. I wouldn't let myself. No, you couldn't tear me down. You couldn't, no matter what you say, you couldn't break me. I wouldn't cry. I hadn't cried in years. And I heard this song, and I'm laying there, and I'm like, all right, Lord, if this is truly it, if this is truly it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I just give it all.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just give it all. I just give it all to you. And I don't know what happened. I don't know why. And the song "It Is Well" is playing, and it's very emotional, and tears just start. I mean, it's pouring off of my face. I've never cried like this in my life. It's just draining out. And I heard this voice, and it just said, "We're not finished." That's it.
that's it.
That was it. And at that moment, from like my hair follicle, it said "Rest. We're not finished." And from like my hair follicles down to the tip of my toes, it was like, so it was like, I don't know if you ever had burdens lifted off of you or whatever. It just, and at that moment, that very moment, I was at peace in my life, just like total. And I didn't know still if I was going to live or not. And then I guess I fell asleep after that, because when I opened my eyes, there was doctors right in front of me. I don't know if I was closed. I don't remember how that all worked. And I said, I just told me that we weren't done yet, because you know, and and I said, you guys got to get me out of here. You got to
Yeah.
fix me, because I'm not dying. And I woke up the next morning, or a couple hours later, and they started doing tests and wheeling me around. And 3 months later, they got me out of there. They told me I wouldn't walk for a year because my muscles were so weak. I took my first steps in 31 days, for rehab and stuff. Now I'm still doing chemo. I do chemo every 6 months, which is called a Rituxim. I still do IVIG every month, twice a month. I still take a handful of pills, but you talk about the drugs, and compared to medical marijuana, I was on steroids, and I was puffed up, and I had the chemo fog, and all that, and the whole time I was trying to guide. A handful of years later, medical bills go through the roof. All this stuff that I thought that I was and strong and I could conquer anything, I couldn't even step up and down the stairs. All my finances were gone. All the people that were hanging out, that majority of them, not all, there was a few that stuck it out, but the majority of the outside world of the people that were all hanging out all the time, they were all gone. I'm laying in a hospital bed on my back, can't even walk. And I realized that none of that, none of the money, none of the finances, now we got to have money to live, but none of it mattered. None of it mattered. I got another day. I got another chance at life. I didn't die. And a lot of people don't get that. And I've got story after story after story of doctors and different things in the hospital. And I wrote down all kinds of stuff through, and we don't have time to even talk about all of those. But we lost everything. That's what happened financially. I had houses, we had equity, and when you own something, they could attach it
Yeah.
when you owe that much money. I had insurance, but when you have $3-4 million bill, you stay in a UC for a while for
Hmm.
4 months and see what your bill looks like. Doing
Well,
chemo and stuff. It's well a
dude,
couple $3-4 million. There you go, just like that.
my wife just finished this last year her second round with cancer, and she beat it. And yes, you don't need to tell me about the bills. If I didn't have the limited insurance we have, we would be bankrupt
Yeah.
completely.
So that's what happened. Lost the
Yeah.
houses and any equity I had, paid off bills. I made a deal with the hospital, and that was that. We pulled it off. Started over. We incorporated. We learned a few things to protect ourselves a little better, so they can't attach things. So, trust and corporations, we learned about all that. And so many people I've talked to said, oh, it's such a bummer. You worked so hard. You had all that stuff. You had
Stuff.
all that stuff. But honestly, it's the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, the pain part sucked because I didn't take pain medication so they could try to fix me. So the pain, I'd be laying there just muscles burning, aching, not able to walk. What's going to happen? Am I ever going to fish again?
Right.
Am I ever going to be able? I didn't talk for, my voice is pretty raspy anyway because my whole esophageal was all destroyed and voice box was all messed up. That was from the disease. Was I going to be able to talk again? What's those were all unknown. But I had so much peace in my heart that it didn't matter. And the first time they gave me a wheelchair, okay, one story. What do we have time? I got
Oh,
one
you
more.
have plenty of time, Kevin.
Okay,
Plenty of
so
time.
I get a wheelchair finally, right? So I finally I get up and I get a wheelchair. Well, I didn't know they put a little tracking device on that stupid thing, right? Well, I didn't know this, so I wait till a shift change, and I'm way up on once you get down there. Yeah, thanks, Colin. I'm saying thank you to Colin. Colin just hold on, Colin.
Oh,
We're gonna turn.
okay.
You're gonna see.
Oh, Kevin's
I
new
just
ride.
I got a brand new chair for my boat, and Colin, my buddy, just put it together for me. So this is
There you
how.
go.
So there's Colin, right there. There's my new chair. That's gonna go in the boat. Yeah, baby. Thanks, Colin. Thank you, Colin. That I am so excited about that chair. I get to roll around on that thing. I hope it doesn't roll so easy that it flips me out of the boat.
Now, when you see Kevin in the water, you're just gonna go, "Love the new chair, Kevin."
Yeah,
And you
I love the
know,
new chair. Oh, dude, it's like got a cushion on it. My back won't hurt as bad. So, is that better with the light?
hey, you look great. You look great,
Oh,
Kevin.
no,
You're
I
doing
don't. No,
great.
it's not about the. I don't anymore, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
for a lot of you guys that just, we had quite a few people get online that are actually staying with us.
yeah,
We wanted to change it up today and really get to know Kevin, as I've been working with him for the last aggressively for the last 5 weeks. You guys heard that we met a few years ago. We got some things going. We have some big plans. But we want to get the story out to kind of how this whole thing came about. Why is Kevin now out here on Old Farts Fishing podcast, hosting with Kevin Brock, and why are all these things going? And you're starting to learn a little bit more about where Kevin's been and where he is today, and his values and what he does totally aligns with kind of what I've been doing with Old Farts Fishing. Is just we give back. It's get out there, create content, have fun fishing, and I think that's led us to where you and I are together doing. You had a need, I have a passion, and it just worked out, and here we are, right?
yeah. I mean, all I can say with all of that is God is good for me. And I'm no preacher, man. I'm not telling people whatever you believe in. I love you either way. It don't matter. All of you out there I'm not judging you. My judgment went away a long time ago. after my experience. I don't judge. Sometimes I think, well, that guy's a moron, but not meaning you, Tony. I wasn't meaning you. I wasn't talking about you. But sometimes I say that and then I catch myself. I'm like, you know what? Maybe he's having a bad day.
Right.
Maybe he's not. Anyway,
So,
but I got to give the glory. I got to give the honor. I got to give the fact that I'm awake, that we're together, I'm even still able to fish with people and give people information. I got to give that to God because that's the only reason I'm here. The medical side, I'm a dead man. I'm
right.
not here. I'm not even here to have this conversation with us. So, whatever purpose that is, that's where the recognition goes to. Do we got to make money to live? Yeah, we still got to make some. But am I buying new boats all the time now? No, I'm still driving my old boat that I'm keeping. I got rid of everything else to help pay medical bills. I'm not driving new trucks anymore. I like my old truck. My buddies are like, "Why do you drive that old piece of junk truck?" Because it starts and I like it. And you know what else? It humbles me. When I'm in it, it reminds me where I came from, and it's okay. I'm okay with it. I don't need the new thing with the new thing on the side to make me feel like I'm accomplished. I don't need that anymore. And if other people, if you can get to that point in your life, it's a great place to be. It's a
Totally.
really, really, really great place to be because you can just be you and become. And you know what? There might be some people who don't like you, and you know what? That's okay. It's okay. That's a-okay. I'm not going to change who I am because someone was mean to me. I'm not going to close off to everybody else. I'm not going to stop giving information out because I have someone say, "Oh, thanks, Kevin, because you gave all this information. That's what all these boats are out here on the river." I got that the other day. Yeah,
Yep.
see what happens when you post something? All these boats come out. No, people want to go catch some fish. Did it hurt anything? No. Did it help? Lots of people caught fish. A few more boats on the river. Did it matter? Not a bit. Who cares? You
Right.
know, I mean, realistically, in the scheme of things, it doesn't make a difference, but we're helping. The guy goes by today, "Hey, what are you fishing? Are you fishing minnows?" Or like, I go, "Yeah, we're fishing minnows." Like, "Okay, I got to go get some of those." "Yeah, go get some." And he calls me later. "Yeah, we got some kind of limit of fish." Had another buddy. "Hey, where you at today?" "Oh, I'm down by Levy's." Okay, they come down. They got their 6 fish. Another guy waved at me. "Hey, I love the store." Da da da. I mean, all day long, all day. "Hey, there's Kevin. Hey, how you doing?" Da da da. I'm no superstar. I'm just a dude that gets to go out there and fish. That's all. That's all. And we want to give back to people because the only reason I'm where I'm at is because people have helped me. And I came out of that hospital. I mean, we had nothing. No more houses, huge debt. All that stuff was all gone. And we started from scratch, from zero. And
Right.
people have helped me out. And clients stuck with me. Clients stuck with me, even though I might not have been physically as strong as before. They just kept fishing with me, and we kept powering through. And now we're in this new drug, Rituxim. I've been on it for a year now. No, year and a half. Year and a half now. I've had 3 doses, I think. Is that right, sweetheart? 3 doses? I had 3 doses of Rituxim every 6 months. They give me this new Rituxim drug, and it's fantastic. It's just done wonders for me. And they infuse it during the day. It's once every 6 months, and it just helps all the cells and good stuff. And you know, there are days that I struggle physically, but I push myself. And all I can tell you is if you're down or you're medically down or you're going through a tough time, you're not alone. You're not alone. Everybody's got a story. I want to give you a big hug and tell you it's going to be okay, but just stick it out. Keep going. Keep getting up. I remember my first steps in the hospital, the first one. I'm shaking on this bar, and you can do it. Oh, I made my first step. It was, I had to learn how to walk again. I got a
Yep.
wheelchair, and I'd go from door to door, in the hospital because I'm like, well, what can I do? What can I do to give back? And I'd wheel into the room and I'd say, "Hey, you want to You want to talk? You want to pray? You want to hang out? You want to tell me your story? We got time. Well, we tell, and then like the fourth day, they would be like, "Oh, I got my arm out of the sling," or what. I'm like, "Yeah, you got." I mean, you would celebrate every little positive thing that you could because it was a next step, a next step. Everything that I used to take for granted, people take for granted, and that was the changing point of my life, 100%. You know, and then I could just be me. I can just be me. I don't have to I don't have to prove anything anymore. It's not an ego thing. You know, I do like the new chair though. Did I tell you that I like the new chair? I am
Well,
hoping tomorrow. I was like, I don't have time to put it together, and Colin came by and put it together. After this podcast, I'll call him or do
that's
something for
awesome.
him. Yeah, yeah, super cool.
One of
So,
the things that I think that's one reason what drew us together as we learned about each other, on our own. There was things, you knew me as Stony Baloney, as you like to
yeah,
call
yeah,
it,
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
know. And I mean, that's an awesome story. It's very humbling, but the thing at the end of the day is we're both giving back. Old Farts Fishing was created to give back and to show our journey, show what we were doing, and that we didn't know what we were doing. You nailed it right on the head. Here I am in this fishing world. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I'm out there just making friends and trying
yeah,
to fish. And I met some, and the people I've met. It was like I've met some characters, and I'm like,
yeah,
what am I doing? These people are just not the people I want to be with. And whether it was God or that aha moment or whatever that you prayed, I'm praying for my wife and dealing with things that
yeah.
we had here and through fishing, it's like somehow everything aligned and now we're doing what we do. It's not about the money, as you mentioned. Money
Right. I'm
does
not
pay the
paying you.
bills,
You're not making no money. I mean, and we're barely scraping by, to get caught up, after
right?
COVID and all that. But
So it's not about the money. It's about this. It's about the relationships I build. I feel like I'm closer to my friends than I am my family. And when you become into my circle, like Anthony, that's in there, you're my family. That's my family, and you're in that circle of family now. And
well,
this is what we do.
I've had so many clients over the year, and they became clients, and then they became friends, and then they became like family. And I've gone through experiences with them, deaths with them, friendship, just back and forth, divorces, I mean, whatever people go through, and everybody goes through something.
Yeah.
We've been able to connect on the water through that, and it's a great thing. And again, giving back,
Yeah. And
giving back.
looking at the
It's
list of
and
people.
Stoney, so you're not full of baloney. So you're
I know
not at
I
all,
am.
buddy. No. And here's the thing with that is now you gotta do, you're and I'm gonna say this for my side, like I'm interviewing you. Hey, this is
Oh
Stoney.
no.
He's a very successful and da da da. He's got this, photography business and he knows what he's doing and he's very on top of it and he's digital. This guy is not full of it at all. He's brilliant, and from where you've come from to realize things again, your story is amazing and everybody has one that you goodness will prevail. Hard work will prevail. Keep moving forward. Good people are out there. Don't get sucked up into the news crap. I call it the snooze,
This
it's
news.
all negative, it's bad. Don't get hung up in all that. Look around what we have, the people around, just in our fishing world. Look at the cool people that we meet. It's amazing. They're just good people. There's lots of them out there. And what I'm just telling you is, if you're going through a tough time right now, whether you believe in God or not, that's up to you. But don't lose faith. Don't lose faith. Just keep going. Keep getting up in the morning. And one guy told me this one time, very close to your friend of mine who I love very much. He said, when you're going through hard times, negative and positive, you can't laugh and cry at the same time. So if you're always negative, you're not going to be positive. But for a moment, I could have said, "Oh, I'm in this bed. I lost my houses. I lost my world. I lost my life. I'm never going to be the same again," and get totally negative, right? But if you stay positive, you say, "Wow, Wow, I heard that bird outside this morning. I know it sounds crazy, but uh, man, I really like it's raining. I love the sound of rain or the smell of rain. Or, that person, they smell real nice. They got some nice anything like that. Whatever in your body, when you have positivity, it drowns out the negative. It puts it away. Whether it's just for that one moment, you can't have positive and negative at the same time. And eventually, the positive will prevail. And everybody goes through stuff. And when you get hit with negatives, okay, but I'm going to keep going and keep going. And positivity will prevail. Aura, God, the universe, whatever will give back to you, and you'll have peace. That's what we all want. We all want just to have peace. You
Yeah.
know, what did I read? What I read the other day? What was the goal? I took a picture of it. Here, let me get it real quick. See if I can find it. It was right on the money. Well, there's that. Well, I'm almost there. Maybe I didn't screenshot it. No, I didn't. Okay, that's all right. I didn't. There it is.
Oh, he found it.
It's never too late to reinvent yourself. Never too late. Start a new career at 40. Fall in love at 50. Learn to dance at 60. I probably won't be dancing. Start a whole new life at 70. Stop saying you can't. You can, and you should. Dreams don't have an expiration date. Right there.
There you go,
Amen
man.
to that. There it
No, that's
is.
awesome.
I mean, it just hits home where people are like, oh, well, and this is a little emotional. I'm tired. I'm 30 some days into guiding. I had a long day today. I was hot. I talked about an experience that God changed my life. So I got a little emotional there, but that's okay. That's okay. Because you know what? If deep down everybody takes a moment in silence and takes a breath, we're all a little emotional. We all
Absolutely.
have pain. We all have pain, you know, and we always just got to get through this life together. Just keep going. And we're going to do it. I'm going to do it by catching fish. You're going to do it by filming us catching fish
There you
and,
go.
and sharing to others. And we appreciate everybody's support because truly, everybody else that waves, that says hi, that I got another chance, hey, I heard your story, and they open up, it gives something to them too. It gives that little bit of positive, Nick, in our world. Don't let, and you can call it Satan, you can call it negativity, you can call it corruption, you can call it money, don't let that take away what the little time that we have here. We got a little time, little sliver of time here, to make a difference, to go some. I got a second chance at life.
Right.
Sometimes I'm driving down the road and yeah, I'm tired, I'm beat up. Sometimes I get angry. I'm not perfect by any means, but I rebound quicker,
Right.
pull out of it quicker, you know. So
So
anyway,
there's
that's
a there's a saying I've been talking about for probably a three weeks, maybe a month now, probably about 3 weeks, and probably gonna put it on a shirt. Gotta put something on a shirt.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's
You like that? You
but
like that?
but
I
it's a
like it.
phrase that I think hits home and covers a lot of the bases. And if everybody could just do this, it would change the world, honestly. And it's just 3 words. It's just do better. That's it. If
That's it.
everybody would just do better, then the world would go round, right? When you get into that down place you're talking about, or you're trying to walk, you're like, well, I just gotta do better. Just do
Yeah,
better. And if
yeah,
everybody did that, man, yeah, the world would just be such a better place.
yeah. And the better, the in the dictionary, better is again a little bit of positive, a little bit of kindness, a little bit of, oh, I'm going to work an extra hour. I'm not going to. Let's say this could be on, but sometimes giving you that saying is better to give than receive,
Right.
you know. There's something to that. There really is. Because sometimes when you give and you help someone else out, And you get the satisfaction of, man, I have not only self-worth because I help them, but they're able to help someone else. Yesterday, and I don't need to mention any guides' names or anything like that because it doesn't matter. But, and I'm not going to down talk the motor, but I've had troubles with the motor too. But anyway, a guy's having problems with his motor. Now we're in the heat of striper season. You need that motor to work. And we've all been there when they don't. It's miserable. You're trying to get through your day and it doesn't fish right and you're tired and hot, all this stuff, right? And we're out there trying to fix it. And I needed to get back and paint swim baits for an order. I had to get back and the dog was in the truck, but I saw this guy working on his boat. And I jump out and I'm like, is it going to be a quick fix? No, it's not a quick fix. 2 hours later, we're unscrewing, we're pulling, and we keep trying. And he's like, I'm just going to do it later. I'm like, no, we're here. I know this motor. I've worked on these motors before. Let's keep trying. We keep trying to reset it and reprime it. We got it. We got it. Whether it was because I made a little prayer upstairs, whether it was binding up in the belt and it would go up and down and then recalibrate. We'd have to reset and over and over and over again, tear it apart. We got it. And then we sprayed it. And anyway, it worked. It worked for him. We got it. I was driving home and that whole day we had great clients. We caught fish. We had everything. But I gained nothing out of that. I mean, I lost time. It wasn't about me at that point. But we did it. We got it done. And I know that's just a simple little thing, right? But you were driving home and you felt this inner satisfaction that you can't get from anything else.
Right.
You can't get from any drug. You can't get from money. You can't in the world searching for something better, in a bigger home, in a new boat, whatever. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those things. Yeah, again, I'm not judging anybody for that. But if you keep searching and keep trying to get bigger and better, there's always someone that has a bigger and better than you. Always.
Always.
You will never be the biggest all the way up. And you will always be chasing. And then I'm going to tell one story based off that. You will always be chasing your whole life. And when you finally realize it, you'll be like, I wasted that time chasing what? What? To get one more car, to get one more this, to get one more that. Again, we have to have money to live. And there's nothing wrong with being well off. Nothing wrong with being rich. Nothing wrong with that at all. So I'm in, this is back to a hospital story. I say, God told me that I'm going to live. I've told the doctors that I'm going to live. And where I'm at, when you're up on like the 13th floor, when you're in critical care, when you're up there, I'm in the worst where people are dying all around me. All right. How they put the white sheet over someone and wheel them out. That's a real thing. I saw that happen every single day. I was in there up there. So this guy comes in. He's next to me in the next room. Okay, I'm not going to tell you who he is. He's not with us anymore. Hopefully he made it to heaven. Hopefully he came to. I don't know. Multi, probably a billionaire, but high millions. Own this huge company. Comes in, been getting these headaches, bad headaches. Really bad. So they scan him, everything. They sit down. Now, sometimes the doors are open and you can hear other people talking in other rooms. Okay. So I can hear the conversation that's going on. They're across the hall from me. And I'm not going to say the guy's name. I'll say, they're like, sir, you have a tumor in your brain. It's growing. We can't operate it. You have about 7 days to live. He goes ballistic on him. Okay, this is the best medical field, in the world. I want a second opinion. I want another x-ray. You guys are blankety blank idiots. Da, da, da. Do you know who I am? He kept saying, do you know who I am? Do you know how much I'm worth? He kept yelling at him. He's throwing stuff in the room. Clash, bang. Like, sir, you got to calm down. screw you, you guys are idiots. Okay, that he blows up at him, right? 3 days. 3 days, he was gone. They had done, they had already, when he did the scan, they had already looked at it 20 times. They didn't need another, they didn't need another opinion. It's what it was. They couldn't operate it. 3 days, he was gone. No millions, no millions brought him back. He spent his lifetime creating this. You know who was there for him? You know who was there that came to see him? Was it all his workers? Was it all the people? All of it? Nobody. Nobody. He had, a few families show up, but the guy was a jerk.
Yeah.
He was a multi-millionaire in his 60s. He thought he had the world by the cojones. He thought he had done everything. Well, I can't say that. I got. He had the world by the.
You did fine. You're good.
Okay, I got Roxanne.
You got the
I got,
look.
I got the look on that one. Sorry, I apologize if I said something wrong there. He thought he had the world, a hold of the whole thing because he had what? He had power. He had money. Everybody said yes to him. 3 days. 3 days. He was gone. No time to say sorry. No time to go back. No second chance. No nothing. So the moral to that story is, yeah, we got to have money. But if you're chasing a new vehicle, if you're chasing a bigger home, if you're not happy with where you're at now, look at yourself in the mirror and say, why am I not happy? Because if you're not happy where you're at now, you're not going to be happy with the next house. If you're always chasing, you'll chase until it's too late. Anyway, it was a learning. I'm sharing that story not to preach, not to be like, oh, I'm better. It was for me too. Stop chasing because I was that guy. I
No,
was
and
that guy.
and Kevin, it's funny because when I was in the Bay Area, when we were working, we were making good money, right? That aha moment where my wife had cancer and she's going in and out of medical leave and we work at the same company and the day she gets laid off, they lay us both off. At that moment, you're going, we both make great money. Well, guess what? That money's gone now. Meaning we both got laid off. Now, I'm fortunate. I got another job and went back to work, but realized at that moment that life is short. There's too much just going on around. And when you're in a high tech field, you're just burning the candle at both ends and you're making deals your body can't keep and we were going through the cars, we were going through the houses, we were doing all of that stuff you just talked about. And then I ended up going overseas for business travel. Came back, thought I was having a heart attack. Just the stress and everything going on just kind of just hit me. And doctor said, if you don't change, you will have a heart attack. You need to kind of de-stress your life. And I'm like, how are you going to de-stress? Your wife's just got through cancer. You're sitting here you both got laid off, right? You're just everything's turned upside down and it just said, you know what? We just kind of reevaluated and cashed out. We left, went to Marysville, you know, and retired. 49 years old. I'm like, I'm going to retire. Wife's going to retire. She's not going back to work. And I'm like, I'm all in at this point. Either photography is going to work or it's not.
Yeah.
And it did. And here we are. And, long story short, that paid off. And I'm doing that, and I met you, and we're doing fishing, we're doing videos, and it's just like you said, everything has a past, everybody has a story. You decide what you want to do with yourself, with your life, when you get those aha moments or those second chances, and that's why I say that just do better. Everybody just does
I
better.
love it, man. Just do better. Just
Yeah,
that one moment. Just do better. You
yeah.
know, whatever that, and it's just a little minuscule thing, but that one thing adds to another. They say Rome wasn't built in a day. Slow as pro. That's the word I use now. Slow as pro because I'm slow up and down the boat ramp and everything. I'm slow. I'm pro because I'm slow. Yeah.
Hey, the turtle. I keep telling you, you
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
a burst of energy. I don't know where you get, knowing what you've gone through, knowing where we are, and looking at all the things you're doing with guiding, with the tackle shop, with your baits, your products, your website, all the stuff you going on. And I'm like, I am not in the same shape that you are. I'm not too far behind you. I mean, as far as how I feel, but it's like I wish I had half your energy. I mean, you're just go, go, go. You and I talk every day, once or twice a day usually, and it's always about what's going on with your day, how are you doing today? It's never really about fishing at the beginning. And then it's like, oh, let's talk. Now we talk fishing. So we take that time. And so I just, appreciate the relationship that we've built. Looking very forward to where we're going. The people out there that watch us, follow us, see you, see me. I'm just going to say it. We're just scratching the surface of what's going on. You don't even know, and it's not a power play. It's not an ego thing. It's just Kevin's got a lot of things, and it's him and I are working together. The striper season will end here soon, and guess what? It's not over. It's like we're on to now what, trout? I think it is.
Oh man, we got
Trout.
trout, we got kokanee, and we got, the vast, we got yeah, tons of stuff, and we'll see what plays out for this little bit of salmon season that we're gonna get, and we'll talk about that when we
Next
know for
time.
sure. Yeah,
Next
when we
week.
know for sure. Yeah, we got
No.
time. But no, thanks for taking the time, Stony, and again, sometimes I start rambling, but when you tell stories or when something comes to you or hits you, you just go with it, and if it wasn't for the people saying thank you, or hey, thanks for that, or hey, I really liked your video, or whatever it may be, that's what that's what keeps you going more than finances. I mean, we got to have finances to live. I got to get paid some stuff. You got to get paid some. We got to have finances to live. Um, but it's not like look at me how much I made, or oh, I look at this mansion that I bought. Or again, it's not for ego reasons. It's to give back, to put more in the store, to educate more, to help people out, whatever you can do, and give back when you can. And it's it's an amazing place to be. But without the people saying, "Hey, thanks for the info," or "I'm down here," I mean, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So
So
what I'm saying there is thank you to you. Thank you to everybody. That's what I was looking for. It's just a humble thank you. I mean, just, yeah, to be able to portray what you portray. See, I can catch fish. And one guy was like, oh man, you've been killing it this year, right? This striper season. And to me, you know, yeah, we've got some big ones. We got some, yeah, it has been good fishing. Yeah. But we catch stripers every year. So personally, I'm not doing anything really different, but you're able to show people what we're doing out there. How, and it's not an infomercial. It's not book with Kevin Brock, he's the best. No, because there's lots of good guides out there, and there's lots of good guides with different personalities and whatever you fit. It's a goodness of let's go fishing. And you know what? If you're trying to catch a fish, here's some information maybe that'll help.
right.
It's not, you're not what we want to say BSing. You're not a salesman. You're not just a part-time fishing guide bookie. Oh yeah, yeah, you can fish with him. He's the best. He's always that. No, it's none of that. It's just some people being real, catching some fish. That's what it is. And
Absolutely.
and if I can give back all the little tricks and tips that I've learned over the last 30 years that's helped me be successful, so be it. It'll help somebody out. Cool, right on. You caught another fish because of it? I get people all the time. Oh, I caught a fish because we wrapped the sardine on that way. Or I really liked how you cooked that fish. Perfect.
Perfect.
Awesome. Yeah.
Well, cool. We are at past top of the hour, and you know me, I know I want to get you to bed. I want to get you out there guiding. Before we do that,
Yeah,
there's
you're the host to this. I'm not
I
looking at
know.
the time. You gotta put the old cape.
I
Go
know.
ahead. Stop talking.
We're gonna hit it. I did want to give a shout out to my buddy Daniel Fountain, who's online. He's been on the call the whole time. Daniel, I don't think you've met him yet, Kevin. He's a guy that makes his own rods, hook 'em big rods, the rods we
I've
use
heard
for
of hook 'em big
catfishing.
rods.
Yes.
I've heard of hook 'em big. Right on,
So
Daniel. I don't know you personally, but right on. Good job with that.
Daniel's in my circle of family. Him and I have met through catfishing and hit it off. And we've done a lot of business stuff in the past to help grow his business and still do a few things. He is a sponsor for me as well when we're doing all the catfish things, and I just want to give him a big shout out. And so next week, one thing we did not do a fishing report, but you give a fishing report on Saturday mornings, right?
Yeah, sometimes on California Sports, but I don't think I don't think I'll be on set. I didn't talk to
Okay,
him. Today's Thursday, right? Yeah, normally he
today's
schedules on Thursday. I won't be on Saturday,
all
but
right.
they can go to the website. Fisher from Calusa down to Tisdale. If you want to catch stripers, get out there, do it. Call me, text me 530-570-8057. Um, Text me. I'll let you know where I'm at. Come down, catch some fish. We'll have a good time.
Are they at Knight's Landing yet?
Was that? No, don't go to Nice Landing.
Don't go to Knight's Landing. All right, Kevin, we're gonna wrap this up, buddy. This was a definitely a real talk moment with Kevin Brock, and that's kind of where I wanted to go with this. We know he can catch fish. We know he's having a great time. Kevin, I appreciate you as a friend and a colleague, and I look forward to the future. We got a lot going on. We're going to be in Gold Beach here in August, doing some filming and what have you, and just kind of go follow us on YouTube. Go check out Old Farts Fishing. We do have to have some commercials. Sorry.
Well,
But
that
Old
may,
Farts
I mean,
Fishing.
if you want to see the videos, you got to go to Old Farts Fishing, and it's not to promote something. It's so
You get the information.
you can watch a cool video.
There you
It's
go.
not like we're making a million because you watch the video. But you know what? It's for everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you need to get some of Kevin Brock's gear, you can go to fishkevinbrock.com or go into the tackle box or local Johnson's Bait and Tackle has some stuff, some Ace
Johnson's
Hardwares.
has them. Ace Hardware and Willows has them. There's lots of stores now up north that are carrying stuff. The Tackle Box in Chico is carrying it. Stuff all over. Yeah.
Yep, and if your shop doesn't, go to the website. There is a wholesale section. Tell your shop to carry his stuff, and then you'll get it, and
Yeah.
then we'll see where
Yeah,
it goes.
we got great margins for you, and we'll promote for you. If you buy from us, we'll promote for you. You bet.
Absolutely. So, top of the hour, we will see you again next week. Appreciate everybody that dialed in. Normally, Kevin, it's just you and I having a conversation, but this was, I think great that we had a lot of people on and they get to hear your story about you, get to know a little bit about me and where we're going. And hold on for the rides, guy. It's going to get fun. It's going to get fun.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for all you do. God bless all of you.
All right. Good night, everybody. We are done.